So here's the thing. They sell suya in my estate, very close to my house actually. The only thing I need is to find somebody that has a salon card that would carry me down from the car. Because at this point, I am living through Shalewa and Dr. Elijah. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aries. If it's your first time here, I create Nollywood and lifestyle content. So if that's your thing, hit the subscribe button. Today, guys, we are going into episode 7's review. And I just want to say that I am a lover girl. Like, give me almost anything, I'll eat it up as long as there's love involved. Because tell me why I am now a staunch follower of the Elisha ship. Okay, before we even go into it, this episode, they give Dr. Elijah a blue shirt, and that's his best shirt all season. I was so happy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have absolutely nothing to say about this shirt. I was just really excited about it. So yes, guys, I'm not going to be complaining about his costume today. So I know that most people want to hear about Elisha, so I'm going to make them first. To be honest with you, they are cute. Like, guys, I'm not even going to lie. I wanted to act like, oh, you know, they're not that. They are cute. I have to give it to them. And it's annoying because, like, why are you guys cute? Like, I'm supposed to be able to hate on you, but I can't if you're cute. I do have a problem with the script because there are certain things that they say and I'm like, who flirts like that? But because they're doing it well, I'm like, okay, I'm going to let it go. But yeah, I'm really excited about the sheep. And also, I really like the fact that Shalewa is finding herself because it's like, Shalewa has always just kind of known herself within like who she is as a woman with a man. You know, if it wasn't like a married man, it was Mohammed. And this is the first time that she's just being herself, you know, and trying to figure out what she really likes. You know, not what her mom thinks is right, not what Tiwa is doing, but just like who she is as a person, what she really likes. And I like that Dr. Elijah is somewhat patient with her about that. I like that he's not trying to push his intentions on her, and he's just like allowing her to be herself and figure out who she is. I really appreciate that, if I'm being honest. Okay, enough about Shalewa and Dr. Elisha ship. I really like them. I like what's going on. Like, it's cute and I have no problems with what they're doing there. Moving on to editing. Editing question mark. What was that? I understand. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, you know, a single parent is just trying to make sure they don't mess it up, and I get it. But there's a way you approach things that you would just mess it up, even if like you're trying to not mess it up. Because the way he reacted to his daughter, she's not going to want to tell him anything again. And by the way, like, those of us that went to all girls schools, we don't even relate to this love letter thing, because you had to wait for, like, let's say visiting day or someone to come from home to drop the letter from your man, and then it was the ghetto anyway. Yeah, and I understand where like Didi is coming from in terms of like, allow me to handle this as like a parent that knows what is best. And I also know that it's very upsetting to hear your partner call his child my child as opposed to like our child. But I think she also needs to be, not to be making excuses for a man, not to be mansplaining, but I think like sometimes we also need to realize that people take time to adjust to things, and like, he may not have meant it in that way. He probably just meant like, you know, he's been so used to doing this parenting thing on his own, and he probably still feels like, you know, whether or not they turn out well is like a direct representation of him as a parent and whether or not he's failed. So while she has a very valid reason to be upset, I do hope that it's something they can talk about, because I understand where both of them are coming from, and they just need to kind of have a conversation on their parenting like skills, their parenting type, their type of parenting, and like just decide like, okay, things like this, who handles that? And you know, I also think Didi needs to apologize to the girl, because if she was handling it, I get it, like she felt like I need to tell the father, but at the same time she gave her word to the girl. Like, bro, it's parenting is complicated. I don't know, bro, but yeah, I could understand where both of them were coming from. More Didi, I think the way editing took it out of proportion was a bit too excessive, and you know, it's just a representation of the kind of man he is. So the next thing is that bit of like Wusi and her lecturer and all of that. Like, I get what they're trying to do, you know, represent like possible fears you know, female students have with university lecturers. Valid, but I wasn't very impressed with how it was portrayed, because I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of felt like when she was talking to her friend and saying, you know, I don't want to go there, I heard that lecturers touch students, and her friend was just like, oh, where did you hear that? And when she was like, oh, in film, and she was just like, in film, like almost like, oh, because it's in a movie, it's not true. But we know that that's not true. Like, lecturers touch students whether or not it's in a movie, it's not a movie. So I got where they're trying to come from, but it felt like they're trying to disprove what we know is the truth. Like, oh, and then when she went into his office, he was like, oh, open the door, everything. So it was almost like you're being paranoid for nothing. And that's really not true, because a lot of students have very valid reasons to be paranoid. So I got it. Then, I told you guys that Tiwa wasn't going to want to move because her support system is here. Trust me, like my sister also, gave birth. I was gonna say recently, but bro, it's been years now. And I can understand, because there's so much support that comes from like living close by to your family members. And we're not even really seeing it now with Tiwa, Amide, and like their family. But like when you start to like live your life and like you're trying to do stuff, like you would probably just send your son to like stay with your parents and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be very difficult for Tiwa to agree to move. But I like the fact that she's open to like talking about it and open to like, the possibility, even though she's not certain she's going to be able to do it. Then another thing I want to touch on is Derry and Mr. Kuneremi. I don't know his name, but the two of them, they actually kind of look good together. I think it's a love thing. I think I am love deprived, but I think they kind of look good together. I just would prefer if they didn't have like all those back and forth and the kind of like things they say. I'm just like, who talks like this? And this is my issue with the writing, right? I feel like there are so many things they've done that ideally would have gone well, but there's just something off. If it's not the dialogue, it's probably how like it's been written or how it's been acted out. Things like, oh, my Uber cancelled on me, this is the third one, or maybe third time is not the charm. Then who says things like that? I don't know. I just really, really would hope that they would get it together. Like I can see the vision. I just don't know if like, yeah. Last thing to touch on is Ayo, that is Asidupe's son. He's crazy because this woman has literally given you, and I get it's from a place of like insecurity, like he doesn't want to be replaced because she's all he knows, like he's all she knows man wise, right? But at the end of the whole day, she is going to want to live her life. And I really liked the way like Mr. Charles, as Tony Umeze's daughter, handled the whole situation. She's like, we're not children, this is not parent trap. Like you can't be expecting that we'll come together and be like, we're going to scatter them. Like BFF, grow up. These are two grown adults and they can do whatever it is that they want to do. But yeah, that's really it. I spoke to my sister, or one of my sisters, and she was telling me she really, really likes the fact that they are moving away from Tiwa and like showing other people's lives. And it made me stop and think, like, you know what, to be fair, they are trying. I just wish like the writing was a bit tighter. Like I just wish it was tying together properly. But we have a bunch of episodes left to go. I think we should have at least 4 to 5 more episodes to go. So let's see how everything unfolds. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Let me know whether you liked it. Let me know whether you prefer how this season is unfolding to like the previous seasons. You prefer the fact that they're not focusing too much on Tiwa. Let me know all those things in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye.